Welcome to Trade Buzz. I'm Martin, and I'm here with Jamie today. We're going to be talking about Incoterms. Now, Jamie, what are Incoterms, and why are they important in international trade?
Well, the Incoterms stand for the International Commercial Terms. That's the acronym of it anyway. And Incoterms are those that help define what the responsibilities are between the buyer and the seller. And it's generally rated more to like shipping, risk, and cost, and also around who's going to handle the different export and import compliance activities. That really gets aligned. It's in order to standardize them. If you think about global trade and everyone moving goods all over, different terms can mean different things. So Incoterms was really established as a way of organizing everyone globally to an agreed set of terms that everybody can follow. So
where do you think companies most commonly encounter issues with the Incoterms?
I think a lot of it is misunderstanding. Even though they are out there and everyone's supposed to understand them, oftentimes people don't, or they misuse the terms. And there's very big differences. I mean, X-Works versus FOB versus CIF versus DDP, they all have very different terms, conditions applied to them. And if people don't understand them, they're going to make mistakes. So I think they've done a pretty good job of documenting that. There's even nice fancy charts and graphs you can get on Google to explain them all for you. But I think that's one problem. I think the other issue is that there is kind of a difference between U.S. commercial terms and Incoterms. So FOB is one that gets used a lot, even in domestic trucking in the United States. Well, it has a very different meaning from FOB on the Incoterm side, which is ocean related. And so sometimes those variances can cause problems.
So then what helps kind of ensure the Incoterms are used correctly and consistently?
Yeah, I think standardizing those use of terms in your contracts is a good place to start, to making sure that that's in there and it's well documented. It's also important Incoterms on its own is not enough in a contract. You have to put Incoterms plus the year. It usually changes every 10 years. So right now we're on Incoterms 2020. So in your contract, you can't just say Incoterms FOB. It really should be Incoterms 2020 FOB, because what it was in 2010 and what it may be in 2020 may be different. And so you really have to make sure that you're using those correct terms at the correct time. And it's also making sure everyone understands what they specifically mean, because, for instance, a lot of people confuse it with title transfer. That's actually not part of Incoterms. So It does talk about the freight, it talks about risk of loss, but it doesn't transfer ownership. So that ownership is a separate contractual item that needs to be called out. So making sure everyone understands specifically what they mean, how they're used, is the best way to ensure that you're not going to have a problem.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for clearing that up a little bit. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Trade Buzz.
Thank you, and stay vigilant.